Madeley set to release his autobiography later this year, and in an extract in the weekend papers, he reveals how when he was 7, his father would whack him on the legs with a stick. Now, he insists his father was not a brutal man, and added, some of the experiences I had were a result of the way that he'd been brought up by his father. But in our own childhood, did our fathers display a disciplinarian streak, and how do we feel about it now?
Well, my dad was very strict, but that was, I think it was just a generation thing then. You know, and I did get a clip round the ear off my dad. I did get smacked across the legs, and that's because I deserved it. I've done wrong. And I know that I've pushed kids push boundaries. And as a parent, you've got to rein them back in. And I must admit, every time I did get a slap, I didn't do that again. So, I mean, I don't feel as if, you know, I was, you know, badly treated just because I got a crack now and again. And I knew my dad, although never was very affectionate or, you know, never said I love you or anything like that, I knew he loved me because he'd come out at 4 o'clock in the morning and pick me up if I needed him to, which a lot of parents don't do these days. But, so I knew that my dad loved me, and I don't for 1 minute think I was badly treated because I got an odd crack down the head now and again.
My dad was never actually, I mean, he was lovely, my dad. But he would always leave it to my mum, which is not good, is it? Because, you know, your mum then gets, it's a bad one, and my dad cuts out all the time. The only time I remember being really furious is my friend Sue and I went to this dance, and it finished at 1 o'clock, and we came out, my mum wasn't there, my mum always met me, never left us on our own. Anyway, we weren't there, so Sue said to me, because she was a really naughty girl, she said, let's walk home. So I went, oh, yes, all right. So we started to walk home, and it was about 3 or 4 miles. So we walked home, and going by us were these police cars with their sirens on, all the way home. Good impression, wasn't it? Anyway, so that was it. We got home, got to the house, surrounded by police cars, and these police cars, my dad, just sent out looking for us. And we're passing us, we were going, and I didn't think to stop them. No, nothing, never stopped us. Never said a word, but my dad was just beside himself. But you know what that was? That was fear. That was fear for us. And they were angry, absolutely angry. I mean, they never smacked us or anything like that, but that was just fear inside of not being there, you know, not being able to find us. That's what that was about. But my mum got, you know, my mum was the one that had to discipline us, and that's really bad that it's left to one person to do that. She never smacked us or anything like that.
But it does, you say it's bad that it's left to one person. It is kind of normal, that it's the good cop, bad cop thing. And that those roles can swap around as well, depending on what, you know, what the problem is. I mean, sometimes you do need a dad to be the one that sits down and says, right, this isn't good enough. And especially if you've got boys in the house. But at other times, my dad was very strict. I mean, he was very strict with both my sister and I. I mean, I look back on it now and it was crazy strict, you know. He wouldn't let us watch a film unless he'd watched it first, and, you know, all this sort of stuff. And we knew our boundaries. But the difference with him was that my dad came from a really harsh upbringing. I mean, things were not great in my dad's house when he was growing up. So he made a concerted effort to be the complete opposite. My dad, he was warm and loving and friendly and encouraging and supportive, but you didn't cross him. You knew where that line was. But at the same time, there was lots of cuddles and encouragement in my house. So he's a sort of living example of the fact that you don't have to repeat, you know, what may have gone on generations before. You can learn from it and decide not to behave.
My dad was very, very strict, very Victorian. We were brought up with that, and there was 5 of us. So, and we'd get this, you know, turning off, back of the leg, something like that sort of thing. But,
you learned to run like that?
Yeah, like that. My dad had this thing as well, you knew his walk. And once I remember coming home from a party, I stayed out a bit later, and I remember walking up, this guy was walking me back with my sister, and the guy she was with. And as I saw him, I went, oh no, and I was petrified of my father. You know, I went, oh no, there's my father, there's his walk, I know it. He used to sort of bowl like this. And I was like, I went, oh no. And he came up and he went, thank you very much, mate, thank you. Clip round the ear to me, get that. Oh, what's up this time? I was mortified. But there was a time when I stayed out one night, the first time I'd ever stayed out. And we went to a party, and it was about 3 or 4 in the morning. My friend said you could stay, and I thought, well, I'm not going to phone my mum and dad at 3 or 4 in the morning. It's not fair. So I stayed out. And I came back the next day, and my mum was sitting there, you know, and she said to me, pat your back, you're out. And I went, but mum, she went, no, she went, how embarrassed. You want to know how embarrassed I feel? She went, I went to the police station, and we reported you missing to the police. She said, I walked in, and I said, my daughter's been out all night, she's not come home. It's like 7 or 8 in the morning, she's not come home. I told him what you were wearing when you went out. And he asked me how old you were. And I said, 24, and he laughed at me. 24.
Have you left home yet?
Less than 28. Okay. So you don't knock on the door, I have to go.
Okay, our first guest today has been making us laugh and cry over the past 25 years with some of the most poignant and